Today we're going to learn how to build arithmetic questions within classroom assessments that basically allow us to create questions that will populate new numbers each time a student takes that quiz. To begin, you'll go to Classroom Assessments on the navigation bar, and then we're going to actually build those questions within the question library. So you'll select Question Library. You'll notice initially that I have several folders, and it's just best practice to build folders as you build these questions, particularly for when you're thinking of sharing with other teachers. It'll be easier for them to select that specific folder of questions that they'd like. To do so, we're going to go to New, and we're actually going to select Section. Think of section like a folder name. So within the section name, you would title whatever you're working on. So if your focus for the day was on addition, that would be your section name. If the focus was linear functions, that would be your section name. And tell it to save. You'll then see that it populated for you that folder. If you click on the folder, we're now building within it and adding any question to that particular topic. Our main focus today is actually going to be on arithmetic questions. So I'm going to go to New and select Arithmetic Question. So as a reminder, Arithmetic Question is going to let us dictate certain variables, and the program itself is going to substitute those variables with actual values so that you can continuously have students working on a skill, and this is very skill-based for math, but working on that skill for mastery. So suppose you normally would ask your students to add. Perhaps you're saying, what is 3 plus 5? In your question, you would actually say, what is 3 plus 5? Well, in this case, though, that would be the only possible question that students would see. But if we choose to replace these numbers with variables, now we're creating a condition that will continuously have new numbers within. So to do that, you're just going to substitute those portions with a variable placed inside a brace. So you'll notice I have those two braces, and I'm substituting a variable within. So in the behind the scenes world, it looks like it's saying, what is x plus y? Now what we're going to do, though, is scroll down to the bottom, and you'll notice that it actually has a section for variables. So if you think to our question, we had an x and we had a y. So I'm going to replace both of those values down towards the bottom. Now this is where it can get interesting. You can actually dictate a minimum and a maximum. So maybe you want your x values to go from 0 to 20, and you want your y values, though, to be from -5 to +5. So this is coming up with a range for what our numbers potentially could be. It also has the capability of having decimal places. So maybe you want this to just be as whole numbers, so we wouldn't select anything. But you could choose to make it go according to tenths and so forth, to just make it a more fluid, the possibilities. It just really extends the number choices you can use. Now the step portion is going to actually allow you to dictate specifically what you want it to go by. So maybe you don't really want it to go fully like, 1/10, 2/10, and so forth. You could choose to have it going by 0.5. In this case, that would mean possible values for x would be 0, 0.5, 1, 1.5, all the way up to 20. If you want it to just go according to whole numbers, then your steps would be according to 1. So this is where you really can choose what do you want your variables to have for their settings.